What if working endlessly until your hands bleed is the exact reason you are failing in life? In a small mountain village, an old poor woodcutter out-chopped 20 young men every single day without breaking a sweat. While everyone thought he possessed magic, his secret was a simple daily ritual that nobody noticed. Stop scrolling right now, because this single forgotten habit will instantly double your productivity and focus. Watch every second of this life-changing story to discover why hard work without strategy is a silent trap. High in the cold, misty pine forests of the Swiss Alps lived a 52-year-old woodcutter named Caleb. Wearing a faded flannel shirt and sturdy leather boots, Caleb spent his life providing timber for the nearby valley. Despite his graying hair and simple lifestyle, Caleb was respected across the region for his incredible craftsmanship. Every evening, while other woodcutters returned home bruised and exhausted, Caleb walked back calmly with a bright smile. He sold the finest quality firewood to local villagers, earning enough to comfortably support his family and help poor neighbors. Yet, what amazed everyone most was that Caleb seemed to put far less physical strain into his daily labor. While younger foresters swung their heavy blades frantically from sunrise to sunset, Caleb worked in steady, rhythmic calm. People often wondered if Caleb possessed a rare physical strength or a secret technique passed down through generations. But Caleb remained humble, simply saying, "The forest teaches patience to anyone willing to truly listen." One summer morning, an arrogant 24-year-old woodcutter named Thomas arrived in the mountain town from the capital city. Thomas was tall, muscular, and fiercely ambitious, boasting that he could cut down more trees than any old village elder. He mocked Caleb publicly in the village square, calling him slow, lazy, and outdated in his woodcutting methods. "You waste precious hours sitting under tree shades," Thomas laughed mockingly in front of the gathered crowd. "Real men win through unstoppable grit, relentless sweat, and swinging the blade without a single second of rest." Caleb listened to the young man's loud insults with gentle patience, offering only a calm, silent nod. Annoyed by Caleb's quiet composure, Thomas challenged the old woodcutter to an official 8-hour timber cutting contest. The rules were simple. Both men would chop timber in adjacent forest plots from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Whichever cutter accumulated the largest, neatest stack of firewood by 4 p.m. would be declared the master logger. The town mayor agreed to act as the official judge, and news of the competition spread rapidly across the valley. The next morning at dawn, hundreds of villagers gathered at the edge of the pine forest to witness the showdown. At precisely 8 a.m., the mayor blew a brass whistle, signaling the start of the intense contest. Thomas immediately leaped into action, swinging his heavy steel axe with fierce, explosive power against thick oak logs. Chips of wood flew furiously through the air as Thomas chopped relentlessly, determined to crush his older rival early. Meanwhile, Caleb began chopping at a calm, steady pace, striking each log with measured precision and smooth grace. Every strike from Caleb landed in the exact same groove, cutting deep into the wood with effortless rhythm. Exactly 50 minutes into the contest, Caleb stopped chopping, laid his axe down, and sat quietly on an old stump. Watching from 30 yards away, Thomas grinned triumphantly, believing the old man was already tiring out. "Look at him sitting already," Thomas shouted to the cheering crowd, chopping even faster without taking a breather. For 10 full minutes, Caleb remained seated in quiet stillness, completely unbothered by Thomas's loud taunts. When 10 minutes passed, Caleb stood up calmly, picked up his axe and resumed chopping with smooth efficiency. This exact pattern repeated every single hour throughout the long, exhausting afternoon contest. Caleb chopped steadily for 50 minutes and then sat down in peaceful silence for 10 minutes straight. Meanwhile, Thomas refused to take a single drink of water or rest for even one brief second. He kept swinging his axe furiously, determined to build an unbeatable lead while Caleb rested under the trees. By noon, Thomas began feeling a burning pain in his forearms and heavy blisters popping on his bleeding palms. Sweat poured heavily into his eyes. His breathing grew ragged, and his axe strikes became sloppy and off-target. He noticed with growing frustration that his heavy blade was bouncing off the tough oak wood rather than sinking deep. Yet, Thomas gritted his teeth and pushed through the agonizing fatigue, refusing to stop or slow his pace. In contrast, Caleb looked as fresh and energized at 2 p.m. as he had at 8 a.m. in the morning. Every time Caleb returned from his 10-minute rest, his strikes seemed lighter, sharper, and twice as powerful. By 3 p.m., Thomas was completely exhausted, his shoulders sagging and his energy completely drained. Every swing took immense effort, and his dull blade barely made dented marks in the thick pine logs. At precisely 4 p.m., the mayor blew the final brass whistle, bringing the 8-hour competition to an official close. Thomas slumped onto the dirt, gasping for breath, his hands bleeding and his body trembling with severe exhaustion. Despite his pain, Thomas looked proudly at his stack of logs, feeling confident that his relentless hustle had secured victory. The mayor and official judges stepped forward with long measuring tapes to evaluate both woodcutters' piles. When the judges measured Thomas's stack, it reached a respectable height of 4 feet tall and 6 feet wide. But when the judges turned to measure Caleb's pile, the entire crowd let out a collective gasp of shock. Caleb's stack was nearly 8 feet tall, flawlessly piled, perfectly measured, and contained twice as much wood as Thomas's. Thomas stared at the massive pile in absolute disbelief, his eyes wide with confusion and crushing defeat. "How is this possible?" Thomas cried out, tears of frustration mixing with the sweat on his flushed face. "I worked non-stop for 8 straight hours without taking a single second of rest or dropping my axe." "You sat down every single hour for 10 whole minutes," Thomas yelled, clutching his blistered hands in pain. "How did you cut double the timber while spending so much time resting like a lazy man?" Caleb walked over gently, handed Thomas a clean cup of cold spring water, and smiled with deep warmth. "Young friend," Caleb replied softly, "you saw me sitting down, but you never truly looked at what I was doing. While you thought I was resting lazily under the shade, I was carefully sharpening my axe blade with a stone." Caleb pulled a wet whetstone from his pocket, showing Thomas the razor-sharp edge of his polished steel blade. "A dull blade requires 10 times the effort to cut a simple branch, leaving you exhausted and defeated," Caleb explained. "Because my blade was razor-sharp every hour, striking the wood was effortless, clean, and twice as fast. You relied purely on brute force while neglecting the very tool required to accomplish your vital mission." Thomas looked down at his own dull, nicked, and battered axe blade, finally realizing his foolish mistake. The young man fell to his knees, deeply humbled by the woodcutter's timeless wisdom and gentle kindness. From that day on, Thomas became Caleb's devoted apprentice, learning the art of intentional preparation and discipline. Caleb's simple woodcutting lesson quickly spread far beyond the Swiss Alps, inspiring thinkers and leaders across the world. In life, your mind, skills, body, and focus are the primary axes you use to carve out your future destiny. Working 20 hours a day with a dull, exhausted mind will only burn you out without yielding meaningful results. Taking time to read, meditate, learn new skills, and rest intentionally is never a waste of precious time. Continuous self-improvement sharpens your mental edge, allowing you to achieve extraordinary breakthroughs with effortless clarity. Never confuse frantic busyness with actual productivity, and never mistake mindless hustle for true success. Remember that spending 1 hour sharpening your blade will save you 10 hours of painful, fruitless struggle. Pause today, evaluate your daily routine, and dedicate time to sharpening the core skills that matter most to you. Drop a comment below right now and share what daily habit you will practice to sharpen your mind starting today. Share this inspiring video with a hardworking friend who needs a reminder to rest and sharpen their focus. Subscribe to our channel right now for more powerful, soul-stirring animated stories that elevate your life every day.